Hey all, I got another question that amused me. And it's a national holiday, so I had some time on my hands, so I thought I would answer it. Um, just got finished doing my hair, so I feel pretty. So I figured I'd answer a question. All right, so this is a dating question. Now, the Aquarius dates a lot. In most cases, the Aquarius is PIMP. It is what it is. So I've dated a lot. I have dated traditionally. I've had blind dates. I've had internet dates. I've had all kinds of dates. When I was very young, it was fun. It was fun to meet new people and learn about them and go places and go to dinner. I love dinner. I've been taken to dinner so many times you wouldn't believe. I love restaurants. That's one of my favorite things to do is get taken to dinner. I love being treated to ice creams and all kinds of stuff. So I've done a lot of dating. And when I was younger, like I said, it was a lot of fun. It was fun to go places and have fun and meet new people. It was very exciting to me. But as I got older, I guess this is what happens when you're ready to settle down. It became more and more predictable. Um, and not as much fun. It just got kind of predictable, kind of old, kind of boring. So that was pretty much the end of it. Now I date once every year, year and a half, 2 years, something like that. Basically, what ended up happening is the more I fell in love with myself, the less I felt a need to be with another person. Um, and I don't really know what to say about that because I always say to my friends, I have to meet somebody that I am as in love with as I am myself. And I don't know. I don't know if that's going to occur. So, it is what it is. I'll work on that manifestation later. I'll bring that forth later. I got to think more about that one because right now I'm just loving me. Anyway, so yeah, I've done a lot of dating. So the person asked me my dating advice. Now, I could probably give a lot of dating advice, but she asked me for my top two. The top two things I would say to anybody who is dating right now. And I will say, no matter what age group you are, there's two very important things. Number one, do not deal with anyone, male or female, who is with someone else. Now, I know that a lot of people, when I finish this video, a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, you're so old fashioned. What I'm going to tell you today is is what I know to be true. From experience, from other people's experiences, from doing so many readings and from people making so many mistakes and telling me about them. This is what I know to be true, not what I think, what I know. Do not mess with somebody who is with someone else. Period. And what do I mean by with someone else? Someone who is committed to someone else, living with someone else, in love with someone else. Someone who is up at 3 o'clock in the morning talking to their baby's mom on Facebook. Anybody who's emotionally attached, physically attached, spiritually attached to someone else. And why do I say that? I say that because, first and foremost, it is an extreme lack of integrity to be somebody's side piece. I'm going to put it on the table. I know nowadays everybody glorifies it and they think it's cute and they think it's fun. They think it's whatever they think it is. It's not. You really look bad. Basically, you're letting somebody take advantage of you and you're also helping them manipulate another person. Now, I'm not saying this because I've never done it before. I have done it before, and that's how I know it's messed up. And I dealt with a lot of karma and negative energy that I created from those types of situations. And I realized that it's not a good thing to do. Even if the person isn't married or in a committed relationship, but they're in love with someone else, you are setting yourself up for a very negative situation because they're going to have to decide at some point in time who they want to be with, and it may or may not be you. The bottom line is that you don't want that. This is what you want. You want someone who has a burning desire to be with you. You want someone who's at your front door, banging on your door when you wake up in the morning, and you want to feel mutually. Otherwise, it's a stalker, mind you. But you want somebody that you're excited to see. It's excited to see you. Somebody who's serious about you. Somebody who's certain about you. Not somebody who is I don't know which one, trying to decide who they want to be with. You don't want somebody who you are second fiddle. You don't want somebody who's not certain about you. You don't want to be with somebody who is not head over heels crazy about you. Somebody who's pursuing you, really wants to be with you. That's the energy that you want. You want somebody who has met you and is so enthralled with you that they can't spend another moment without having you. That's what you really want. You don't want to be with somebody who has to decide between, oh, do I want to be with her, or do I want to be with her, or do I want to be with him, or do I want to be with him. You don't want that energy. You want somebody who's certain about you, somebody who is emotionally and mentally healthy to be in a relationship and going right straight towards you. That's what you want. You want that kind of persistence. You want that kind of precision. You want them to be, into you. And if they're with somebody else and you're playing second fiddle, you're helping them creep, like we used to say back in the day, you're the side piece, whatever the case is. You're basically just being used. And another thing, let me give you this other piece. Not only are you being used, let's say, for example, he decides or she decides that she doesn't want the main person anymore, that she wants to be with you. She wants to make you the main person now. She doesn't want you to be the side anymore. What makes you think she's going to be faithful to you? Now, a lot of people are arrogant enough to believe that, oh, all she needs is me and she won't. If you cheat with somebody, they automatically don't respect you. I'm telling you, they automatically don't respect you, number one. And number two, they're always thinking they know what you're capable of because you cheated with them. So they never quite trust you either, even though they will never tell you these things. So if you're cheating with somebody, they already like, And once you become the main person, now your side chick slot is open and somebody else will be sliding into that spot eventually. So if you're with somebody who does stuff like that, you have to really pay attention to that. If they're doing it with you, then they're going to do it with another and another and another. A lot of times, people will say, oh, I'm only cheating because I'm unhappy, or I'm only cheating because this, or I'm only cheating because that. And some of the times those reasons are actually true. But the bottom line is that as soon as you give them a reason, they're going to cheat on you too. So if you're cheating with somebody, eventually they're going to end up, if you become the main John, they're going to end up cheating on you too. So you're really setting yourself up for a lot of negative vibration, a lot of negative karma, a lot of bad situations. So like I said before, don't date anybody who is with somebody. If they're attached to somebody, leave them be. Tell them, look, I like you, you're nice, you're smart, you're funny, and when you find yourself single, you know where I'm at. And move on. Don't be afraid to just tell them and move on. You don't have to be, grasping for somebody to be with you and like you and care about you. It's going to happen. It's going to happen when it's meant to happen. But you have to do things the right way or you're going to mess up your own karma and it might not happen. Number two, the second thing that is really important. And again, a very controversial topic I'm getting ready to say. People are going to snap when I say this one. No friends with benefits. If you are dating someone and you're, having a sexual relationship, that's fine. But you should not be dating someone that you're sneaking to have sex with. You should not be, you're not actually dating when you're sneaking to have sex. Okay, so you shouldn't be sneaking to have sex with someone. You shouldn't be sneaking to spend time with someone. If this person is like, okay, well, you're good enough to get it in with, but not good enough to be with, then that's somebody you shouldn't spend time with. That's a user. That's a user and a manipulator. And basically they're just playing with people's emotions and affections to entertain themselves because they're insecure in themselves. So an insecure person gets entertainment by destroying other people. So if you're going to allow yourself to be used and ultimately destroyed, that's really on you. It's not a good thing. That's not to say that some people can't have sexual relationships and be detached from them. It's to say it's not natural. I remember one time I wrote this poem, and it started off with, I didn't mean to catch feelings, but I did. That was like the very beginning of the poem. And I thought to myself, like a couple days ago, when I was thinking about this poem, this is an old poem. I was thinking to myself, of course you catch feelings. Catching feelings is natural. So if you are seeing someone and you feel like you can't catch feelings for this person, or you can't express your feelings for this person, you can't really have anything tangible or real with this person, then you shouldn't be having sex with this person. You shouldn't be spending time with this person at all. If this situation is not going to go anywhere, then what are you really doing? You're wasting your time and you're harming yourself, because the more you have sex with this person, the more you run the risk of gaining emotional attachment to this person, falling in love with this person, being addicted to this person. Sometimes we're not even in love. Sometimes we think we're in love, but we're just addicted to them. We're addicted to their energy. We're addicted to their sex. We're addicted to their personality. We're addicted to them, but we think we're in love with them. There's so many levels to this emotions thing, this emotions game. But the longer that you're sleeping with your friend with benefits, the more of an emotional, spiritual connection you're making, emotional connection you're making with them. And you might think it's harmless and it's not a big deal, and oh, we just having a good time, or oh, that's just my friend. But really, it's not. And if you're honest with yourself, you know that that's really not what you want. If you're honest with yourself, you know that. Most of us, I know that there are some people who enjoy casual sex. But usually people who enjoy casual sex, there's something else going on there as well. There's all kinds of different areas with that. Like, for example, some people enjoy casual sex because they lack the ability to be committed. It's different reasons. But 9 times out of 10, if somebody is creeping to have sex with you, there is a bad reason. This is not a good reason. They're either a user or they're with somebody. Something is wrong. And you should not put yourself in a position to be victimized in that way. So those are the two things. Do not do friends with benefits, and do not mess with somebody who is in a relationship or has any kind of emotional connection, attachment to someone else. Now, a lot of people always say to me, well, I didn't know. You're lying. You're lying because you knew that this person had something going on more than they were telling you that they had going on. I'll give you a perfect example. I was talking to this woman the other day. This is the first time we ever spoke to each other. Now, mind you, I didn't do a reading on her. I didn't look at her cards. I didn't do anything hocus pocus. I was just talking to her. We had one conversation, really good conversation. At the end of the conversation, she said, I'll call you back. And she never called me back. So, me being me, I noticed it. But I didn't say anything because it's not a big deal. So then the next time we talked again, she said, I'm going to call you back. And she never called me back. Now, when I was younger, it would have been 3 strikes and I would have peeped it. I only needed 2. Because if you're telling me you're going to call me back on 2 different occasions and you don't call me back and you haven't called me, then you have something else going on. I don't know what that something is. I'm not even going to look and see what I don't care what that something is. All that told me was she has something going on. Back off. That's all I needed to know. So pay attention to these kinds of things. Like, people blow past these warning signs, these red flags. Like people, I know a lot of people that would have blown past that. They would have kept calling her. They would have kept seeing her. They would have kept chit-chatting with her. I see it. There's something going on with her because for some reason, whenever something is happening, she needs to get off the phone. And then she doesn't call back later. And it's always an excuse to why she didn't call back later. So I just backed off. I was like, oh, this is weird. This is not good. So I just backed off. And that's what I'm saying is that people give all kinds of warning signs. They give all kinds of red flags. And if you are really, really smart, you will peep the red flags and go with that. Don't push past the red flags. If you see 1, 2, maybe even 3, back off. because the red flags are showing you something is not right. Now, you might not know what that something is. You might not figure out what that something is anytime soon, but that's okay, nosy. You don't need to know what that something is. All you need to know is that intuitively something is going on that you do not want to be a part of. There's some nonsense going on. So, a lot of times, I'll end with this. A lot of times, women and men come to me and they tell me how hurt they are. Somebody has, used them, betrayed them, lied to them, done whatever to them, and a large part of it, yeah, it is the other person's treachery. But I'm going to tell you something. Most of us allow ourselves to be hurt. We allow ourselves to be hurt because we blow past these red flags that I'm talking about. When you see that something is not right with a person within the first couple of days, back off. That is your best defense, because not getting into something is better than trying to get out of something. Like James Brown said, don't start none, won't be none. If you don't let it start, it won't begin. The hurtful process starts the moment you start accepting bad behavior. The moment you start accepting stuff that's a little weird, the stuff that when you start accepting that they said one thing but did another, when you start accepting that and not saying anything about it, that gives the other person, especially if they're manipulative, that gives them the okay to do the next thing. And they just keep going and going and going and going. And that's how you get victimized. You don't get victimized the first 3 days. You don't, sometimes you do, but typically you don't. Typically there's a honeymoon period, and then they start to push your buttons and see how much you'll take. And the more you take, the more they give. After a while, your credit is bad. You know, they done ran up your credit, and they baby mama playing on your phone, and they done slapped you around a few times, and, and things are just not going well. People don't get victimized like that overnight. It happens from them letting down their defenses little by not peeping the warning signs. So when you see warning signs, move on. If you don't see any warning signs, great. Move forward. Get to know the person. Spend time with them. Be their friend. Do not be a sexual friend. Just be a platonic friend. And when they're ready to have a relationship, then you can begin to discuss sex and sexuality and what that kind of thing, when you're ready to be in a relationship with that person. Now, I know that sounds old-fashioned. I know it, but I'm telling you, that is what works the best. If you really want to be in a good, committed relationship with somebody, that is what is going to work the best for you, is to take your time and get to know them. A lot of people, if you take your time and get to know them, you won't have sex with them. You won't even spend time with them. I guarantee it, because a lot of times the sex is all that's holding you together. So if you don't start sleeping with them, and you get to know them 2, 3, 4 weeks in, you might be like, I don't think I like her that much. And if you had been sleeping with her for those 3, 4 weeks, you might have let that go. Like, well, I don't like her that much, but she alright. Now come on, because I've been there myself. So I'm telling you, if you do not get sexual with the person and give yourself a chance to be a platonic friend and really see them, really spend time with them, really talk to them, really know who they are, and not just, go places with them, have dinner with them, go to barbecues, but be a platonic friend like our grandparents and them did back in the day. That's why they did that. It gave them a chance to get to know the person before they became intimate with the person. So I know a lot of you aren't going to agree with me. You're going to think that I'm crazy, and I'm okay with that, because you've always thought I was crazy anyway. So fine, what difference does it make? I might as well say whatever I want. But I'm telling you, the people that I know that are happy and have good relationships, and relationships that are not full of deceit and treachery, and relationships that are actually going somewhere, these are people who did these things. They dealt with people who were completely single. They got to know them in a reasonable amount of time. They did not mess with somebody that had somebody else in their life. They didn't put up with all that treachery and negativity. There is no glory in being a side chick. All the things that I'm saying to you right now, those people who are in these happy relationships, they honor these things. Now, that's not to say they didn't have, or they don't have, other obstacles, because every relationship has obstacles, even if it's a happy one. Even relationships where you're compatible and you're faithful and happy, they all going to have something going on. All right, so if you like my ramblings, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be happy to answer more questions as time permits. Okay? Deuces.